Hello, precious people. I believe you are doing well. I know it's been a while. We have been busy about the master's business, but we are glad to come your way again today. It's Pastors Derek and Sel Julia from the Marriage School, and today we are going to talk about ways that in-laws can ruin your marriage. And we are privileged once again to have our very own Pastor Derek here with us to teach us so that we don't allow our in-laws to ruin our marriages, or as we as in-laws ruin other people's marriages. So Pastor Derek, we really miss you. You are welcome.
I miss you too. I miss you and everybody.
It's good to have you again today.
It's good to be had again today.
And we would like to know the ways that in-laws can ruin our marriages if we give them the chance.
Right. We bless God. We thank God. All right. Please, when you get this video, share it. Let it bless somebody. All right. Okay. So there are numerous ways that in-laws can ruin marriage. No, marriage is a very great thing, and in-laws are very, very good. When you have good in-laws, it's a great blessing. I think we'll do a video on ways that in-laws can be a blessing to your marriage, okay? But today we are looking at ways by which in-laws can ruin your marriage. The first way that if you allow your in-laws, they can ruin your marriage is when they deny your marriage the privacy that it deserves. Every marriage that will do well, every marriage that will excel, requires privacy. It requires some level of independence to thrive. Now, there are certain in-laws who do not have boundaries. They don't know, they don't take no for an answer. Okay, so when their daughter or their son has married you, they pretend to have some level of amnesia, like they didn't see the wedding happening, they didn't see the engagement happening, they didn't see the marriage taking effect. So they still see their son as some single son, they still see their daughter as some single daughter, and they can barge into your bedroom at any time. They can just come into the house, walk into the bedroom. They forget that when you have married, you need that level of privacy. They can come in, take your things, they can pick your phone and start going through. They can do everything as if you were still some single son who still lives with them, or a single daughter who still lives with them. When this thing is not checked, it can have a detrimental effect on the marriage. Because the outsider, who is, let's say, the in-law, your husband or your wife, okay, when your parents or your brothers and sisters don't have boundaries, your husband or your wife will begin to get frustrated. They will feel alienated. They will feel like they don't have control over the marriage. They are still hanging around, and it is not good. It is completely disrespectful for your mother or father or brothers or sisters to walk into your matrimonial bedroom, to come and lie on your matrimonial bed, to come into your house and behave as if you are still single and you are not married. Okay, so when you allow in-laws or your parents or your family members the right to just move anywhere without giving you privacy, or without allowing you to have your independence, it can ruin their marriage. It can destroy the marriage. When they want to be part of every conversation, you and your husband are talking, then they want to come and say some. You and your wife are talking, they want to come and be part of it. No. You see, if you are an in-law and you are listening to me, when you do this, you will ruin the marriage of your people. When your son or your daughter is talking to their husband, don't get involved. When they are chatting, even if it's heated or laughing or something, don't get involved. Pretend like you are not hearing it. If you can excuse them, walk away from there. Don't just always be there and always try to be part of the conversation. You are ruining their marriage for them. They may not complain, but you are not allowing the marriage to take root. And if any storm blows, they will fall, because you are overly interfering in their marriage without allowing them to have privacy.
Yeah, Pastor Eric, thank you so much. That is particularly true, especially in the case of a newly married couple. Because the newly married couple will need that privacy and that independence to even find their feet in the marriage, get to know each other, get to bond with each other, and get to create a culture for their own marriage. Because every marriage has a culture on its own, or of its own. So when you deny, especially when they are newly married, when you deny them that privacy, they just got married, and then you, as an in-law, you just barge into their home, matrimonial home, and do whatever you want. You are denying them the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to grow together, the opportunity to even learn more about each other, to bond together, and also to create their own marital culture. So it's important that as married couples, we try and have those boundaries, and also as in-laws, we are careful we don't give that pressure or take away the independence of the couple, especially when they are newly married.
And that is one of the key reasons why you should not marry and take your wife or your husband to your family house. It's always better, if even it's a single room, go and start on your own elsewhere, where you have that independence and you're able to control your own destiny. Don't marry and take your husband or your wife to your family house. That marriage will struggle because the interferences is too much. There's no privacy. You will struggle.
Unless, I know to every rule there's an exception. So unless your in-laws are probably very, very different and they will not interfere.
Even if they are different, their presence is not
alone.
What they do. Their presence alone.
It can be intimidating.
It is intimidating. It will deny you of your privacy. Go somewhere alone. Start on your own. Those of you who like freebies. Oh, because my father-in-law says there's a free room here. My mother-in-law says there's a free quarters, boys' quarters. Let's go and hide there. You will not have the privacy to develop the marriage well. Be independent. If your marriage will do well, learn to be independent.
I think we can do number 2, please. For today.
Yeah, number 2 is when the in-laws place undue financial burden on their marriage. When they place undue financial burden, just because they think that your husband or your wife comes from a rich home, or they have a good job, or they have something in their hands, now they uproot all their family budget and family expenses and they come and lay it on you, the young couple who have started your new marriage. Now all the hospital bills are now sent to you, school fees are brought to you,
of your younger
family litigations that are now going to court, you have to come and pay. Everything that is happening, somebody dies, you have to now come and do the funeral. Everything that, listen, when you allow your family to bring all their bills into your home, just because you are now married, you will undermine your marriage and you will ruin it. Before your husband came, before your wife came, was your family not surviving? So how come that now that you have married, all of a sudden your family cannot stand on its own? Your family can't afford anything unless you, the two young couple who are started your new life, unless you foot that bill.
Because they've been praying for that, Pastor.
Once you do that, you will not have the focus to be able to invest or do anything for your own marriage. That you've married does not mean that you are the one who must now pay school fees of all the people who are left in your family. You are not the one that should now send everybody abroad. You are not the one that should now buy taxes for the irresponsible guys in the family to all start family business. You are not the one to now go and buy land for the family to start building. Listen, if out of your own volition, out of your own heart, you realize, oh, we want to do this for this brother, or we want to do that for this sister, it's good. Giving is good, and God will bless you. But as a son, as a daughter, don't allow your family to bring all their bills and to now lay unnecessary burden on their family. Sometimes they do it as, okay, because we have invested in our daughter or our son, he has gone to school, he is now earning, and he's going to marry. We don't want him to spend the money on the guy he has married. We don't want her to spend the money on the guy he has married, or we don't want him to spend the money on the girls he has married and her family.
Not the girl he has married, who has not labored for him or contributed anything towards his education or whatever. So that is why sometimes they do some of these things.
So we will milk our own son. We will milk him dry, so he has nothing to give his wife. We will milk our own daughter, so she has nothing to use to support her husband. It is wickedness. It's wicked. When you do that, you undermine your own son or daughter's marriage and you will ruin it. Then there is the family too, who say that our in-law is rich. He has come to marry our daughter. We will milk him dry. Oh, she's come to marry our son. We will milk her dry. So everything will go and cry at their door. Every time we'll be knocking to collect things. It is bad. It disgraces your own family, but then also it destabilizes the young couple. Please, as in-laws, avoid placing undue financial burden on the young couple. When your son goes out to marry someone, when your daughter goes out to marry someone, please give them that respect yourself and give them the freedom to thrive on their own. A young couple has a lot of bills and responsibilities. Don't think because they don't have children yet or they don't have anything, then all their money can now come to you. They need to invest. They need to lay down foundation for their future. Don't drain your children when they get married. Stay away. Have some respect. Have some dignity for yourself. Don't disgrace yourself. Always begging. It's no good. It's no good.
Oh, Pastor Derek, let's do number 3, please. This is so funny.
Number 3 is when they try to turn the in-law into a domestic servant, worker. Okay, so your daughter goes to marry a guy, and all of a sudden he's the one who should drive everybody who's going to hospital. You should call him to come and pick them. If old man has to go to hospital, he should come. So before he came, how was old man going to hospital? Before he came, how was old lady going to hospital? Now the guy has come to marry your daughter, and he now has to do everything. He has to come and paint the house. He has to come and fix furniture. He has to come and carry old man to hospital. Come to carry old lady to hospital. He now has to come and weed the garden. He has to come and do everything. It's not right. They need time. Okay, your son has now married a daughter. She now has to come and cook everything because old lady doesn't want her soup with pepper. So she has to come and cook. So before she came, how was old lady eating?
But apart from cooking, she has to come and cook. She has to come and clean the house. She has to come and take care of the elderly in the house and everything. There was this story, the person told me directly one big problem she was having in her marriage. She said she was newly married and her father-in-law was not well. She had big sisters-in-law who were older than her, but they all refused to take care of that. They said, well, she is married to their son, so she has to take care of their father. And as if that was not enough, she had to stop working, take care of their father 24/7, and the big sisters will come and add their demands to it. So they'll come and say that, oh, we want to come and see dad, but can you cook that for me? I want to eat this for breakfast. I want to have that for lunch. I want to have that for dinner. She had to cook for daddy, for her father-in-law who was not well, take care of him, change diapers, napkins and all that. She was complaining about waist pains and all that. Had to take care of the sisters, and the sisters were running shifts. This will come this week, then the next one will come the following week. And when she complained, her husband got angry.
It's wickedness. It's wickedness. And if you are a husband, never allow your wife to be turned into your family's slave. If you are a wife, never allow your husband to be turned into your family slave. It will destroy your marriage in the end. In the end, you end up having to go back to marry your father or marry your mother or your sisters. It is very, very wrong.
Mr. Derek, sometimes it's difficult for some of these ladies to get out of this situation. So, for instance, maybe the man married her. Number one, you shouldn't take them to your family house. But let's say he married her and took her there into the family house, and she really has nowhere to go to or nobody to talk to, and she's saddled with this. It's not easy to come out. It becomes very difficult for them, and that's one of the reasons why we say try and cut off from family links when you get married to avoid some of these things. Or sometimes they relocate. They are relocated to a different country, and she hasn't got any support system there, and she finds herself in that situation. What will she do?
You have to speak to your husband or speak to your wife if it's the opposite, and then do something about it. But this time I will actually speak to the men. You are a custodian of that new family that you are starting. You have to be a strong man. You have to protect your wife. Many of you betray your wives and throw them to your family to do whatever they want to do with them. It's wrong. It's honorable. Once in a while, your wife says, I want to go cook something for my mother-in-law. I want to do something for my father. It's beautiful. It's nice. But that she's come to marry you does not automatically turn them into a slave for your family. Your family was living before she came. Allow her to be. You didn't buy a slave. You married a wife. She is there for you, not for your family. Know the difference.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, when they try to control, when in-laws try to control and interfere and impose their opinions on decisions the couple must make. Okay, so you've married you want to have children from next year. I nearly said from next week. From next year. Because you want to spend the first year knowing each other and putting a few things. Then mother-in-law comes, I want my grandson now. I want my grandchild right now. And then all of a sudden, son or daughter, who is a husband or the wife, I think we have to change because mom said that she wants it now. It's wrong. It is wrong. You have married. You want to go and rent a place or start something. Mother-in-law or father-in-law come. No, we have an empty room in this house. You are coming to stay here by all means. You can't go and you have to stay here. It is wrong. You want to go and get a job here. No, you must not work there. Go and work here. Do this kind of job. I heard of a story where a lady who had a proper career running, after she married from a home, she was made to resign from her work because in-laws didn't want her working. And when they made her resign, they turned her into a domestic slave.
So sad.
It is so wrong. In-laws have no right to decide, make decisions on your career, make decisions on where you want to live. If you want to buy a house, in-laws have no right to say, no, you can't live there, you can't go and live. It's none of their business. It's you, the couple, who must make these decisions. You have to be strong. Some of you are so tied to your mother's aprons that you can't move anywhere. Unless your mother didn't cough or doesn't cough, then you have to throw your brain away and say what mom is. Mom is always right. Then you are not matured enough to marry. Grow up. I'm not saying by any means disrespect your parents. They can advise, but don't let them control your marriage. Don't let them decide where you go, what you do, and how you do. When you allow that, your marriage will not thrive. It won't do well. It's only a matter of time. It will crumble. It will crumble. Don't let your in-laws dictate in your marriage. It's wrong.
Something is coming into my head, Pastor. I've had a few of those where they give scenarios like, your mom and your wife, who should be more important to you? And then most men will go, okay, it's my mom because my mom has done that. I think I personally think that should not be something you put on it. You shouldn't compare your mom and your wife and give the man the option to choose one, because the role of the man, the role of the mother is completely different to the role of the wife. And sometimes some of these men are put in those situations and they say, oh, as for me, I don't play with my mom. Whatever my mom says is final. And they follow their mom and to the detriment of their marriage and cause problems in the marriage for their wives. So as a man, you need to think carefully that don't put your wife and your mother in that competition. Know the role of your mother, know the role of your wife, and make sensible decisions so that you don't ruin the marriage or allow your in-laws to ruin the marriage that the Lord has blessed you with.
Excellent. I don't need to add anything to that. That's excellent. All right, so maybe I can add a final one for the day. And that is when they visit unannounced and disrupt the couple's program. You'll be there, you hear the bell ring. Pinini, mother-in-law has come with her big bag. She has come.
No, Pastor, sorry. Most of the time is the mothers-in-law who do that. The fathers-in-law are not so much of a problem. See, because Pastor Ray keeps saying mother-in-law, mother-in-law, mother-in-law. So dear mother-in-law, please allow your son, allow your daughter to have some peace. Because it's always on the mothers are the ones who do that.
And there's nothing wrong with mothers-in-law coming to visit. I love it when my mother-in-law visits, because when she comes, she cooks nice food. Your mother-in-law is different.
She's really, really calm.
And she's peaceful. She'll stay in her corner. She'll not interfere. She's respectful. When my mother-in-law comes around, I don't feel intimidated. But some mothers-in-laws are cantankerous. They will sit in the middle of the living room, take remote.
They'll sit in front of the car.
Yeah, they want to sit in front.
We're dealing with something like that. The mother-in-law will sit in front of the car and push the wife back. That's not.
It's wrong. A mother-in-law should never take the front seat.
And the husband
allow your children, allow the children to thrive. Don't become an impediment. Don't become an obstacle. Allow the children to stay back and watch them grow. Stay back and watch them play. Stay back and see their love flourish. That's what real godly mothers do. Okay, so you don't pack your bag and just go unannounced. Maybe they had planned to travel. They've planned that, okay, tomorrow we are going to Paris for holiday. And then boom, you have arrived. Now they have to cancel their plans.
Mother-in-law has arrived.
They've planned that, oh, we are going for dinner, whatever. You have arrived.
Unannounced.
Unannounced. Even if it is announced, even the Bible says don't visit your neighbor too often. Okay? If it is announced, it's not every 3 weeks you call, I'm coming. It's wrong. But to do it unannounced is a travesty. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. Give your children space. When you come, every time you are there, you are causing them to change their plans, to disrupt their program, to change the way they relate even with each other.
Yeah.
There's a way they can't communicate. There are things they used to do, they can't do. Sometimes you don't know when you are not there, they're able to run naked around the house and play. Once you come, everything stops.
Suits, 3-piece.
You stifle everything. When they are making love, they can't make noise because mother-in-law is around. Some of you, by virtue of visiting your sons-in-law and your daughters-in-law, you have even ruined the sex life for them. They can't do it because you are there. Always listen. Some of you tie your ear to the door to hear if you can hear anything. Wicked mother-in-law, wicked father-in-law. I know fathers-in-law usually don't do that.
No, the fathers don't do that.
Okay, don't do things like that. Don't always be in their face. Don't always be there. Give them space. Give them space. Never visit them unannounced. And when you visit, give long space before you go again. Unless they need you, if they call you, oh, come, because we need you maybe to babysit for us or to support us with one thing or the other, then go and help. But it's not like every time you just get your bag and then you go. Allow your children space to flourish. God bless you. And I'm not against you. I am also an in-law, okay? I'm not against in-laws. Don't think that today I'm rising against in-laws. I love in-laws. I have in-laws and I love them. Okay, I love my mother-in-law, I love my father-in-law. And for them, they have really worked well. They've tried not to give us problems. They've always stayed in their lane. They've been honorable as in-laws. And that's all we are praying. If you are an in-law, be honorable, have dignity. Don't disgrace yourself before your in-laws by just throwing yourself too cheaply to them. Okay, give them space, allow them to grow, allow them to flourish, and God will bless you. And if you have in-laws, take good care of them. Love your in-laws. Okay, I love my mother-in-law, I love my father-in-law. Take good care of your in-laws. God will bless you.
God bless you. I love my in-laws as well. God bless you, and I believe that we have learned something. God willing, next week on the 2nd of September, we are in Manchester, Holiday Inn. What's the Holiday Inn?
Manchester West.
Holiday Inn Manchester West.
Liverpool
Street at
Manchester.
10 a.m. Yeah. If you need more information, please go on our page and you'll find a leaflet with more details. So God bless you, and until we come your way again some other time, God willing, it's Pastors Derek and Julia from the Mary School. Have a fruitful week. Bye.
Bye-bye.